We raced at Roulette in Bradford and Olean and Highland Corners and Arkwright and Lancaster Speedway. North Collins had a track at one time.
No kidding.
Yeah. Actually, that was the second time I ever drove a late model. I was over there. Won the feature too, so I was lucky. It was a hand-me-down. Coon Rd, of course, they had a track up at Lawrence Park there, a race there. And that was one thing about Coon Rd too. Boy, that was so dusty up there. They didn't have very good dust control, and we had a pretty good car, so we was always starting near the back, and they just, it was hard the first few laps to see where anybody was, you know. It was just so thick you didn't know whether you were going to run into somebody or whatever. But it was, once it got cleared out a little bit, it was really, really fun. Well, it's kind of longer straightaways and short turns. Had short turns. We had old poles and cable for fence. I really don't remember a whole lot. I know going down the backstretch, going into the third turn down there, you really had to hang on to it because you had a lot of momentum going down there. And that car I had was pretty darn good up there.
What kind of car did you have?
I had a 50 old coupe, and first time I ever built an engine for a car, and it worked out really pretty well. Because Hartfield Fire Department ran the races up there all the time I was there. But I don't think they ran it too long. That's why I say I don't know how long I raced up there. I can't remember, but I think it was a better part of 2 years.
What was your car number?
90.
90.
Yeah.
Why 90?
Well, it started out because I had a 49 Ford, and I put 99 on the side of it. Well, Freddie Knapp didn't think too highly of that, but I thought a lot of Freddie Knapp. That's why I put the 99 Junior on it, you know. And so he didn't like it too well, so I took the last 9 and made a 0 out of it. It was kind of one of those makeover things.
Yeah.
When I built that car, I was living in Lakewood and had the gas station there in Lakewood, and got the car pretty well all done. And the guys from Yellow Pages come around selling advertising, and the guy was a racing nut, so he asked me, he says, hey, he says, I'll tell you what, he says, if you let us put our name on your car, he said, we'll paint all up the numbers and everything on it for you. So we painted the car real bright red, and he sent his crew up there, and they hand lettered it all out and everything. It was really nice, and it made it look pretty good, you know. We done pretty well. We missed the championship up there. Jimmy Dunn won it the 1 year, but it was really tight. And one of the races near the end there, I don't know if it was the last one or near the end, he got into me down in the third turn down there and spun me out in the infield, you know, and so I was ahead of him then, but ended up anyways, he won the championship, but he apologized to the guys that were running the track up there. He said, I shouldn't be here, he should be here. He said, I didn't mean to do that. And he said, Ken really won the race and all that, so, but he was a pretty good guy. I think the most that I got was about $75 for a feature. I know I kept books on the first year I ran that Oldsmobile, and it was primary up there. I made $600. That's what I made.
Wow.
I probably spent twice that much. But I remember one time, one feature, Roger Boland was the only one behind me. We were starting a feature, and we come up the front stretch, and they started. Somebody up front stopped. They said they jammed their transmission, whatever. So I'm on the brakes and everything, and I hear Roger Boland behind me. He never even got out of that thing. Hit me right square in the back end, shortened my car about 3 feet. Lucky the gas tank was sitting back in there, and lucky it didn't pop that, but it didn't. But it put my car out of business anyway. But I still remember it to this day. All I could hear is the roar of that Ford just to come, and I thought, oh no, bam! Boy. I got hit so hard, I almost knocked me out of the seat. Mike Kamazowski, he was a super guy, and his wife used to drive the powder puffs up there.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, and she used to take care of them pretty good in the power puff race. Said, how'd you dare let your wife drive that car? I said, she can drive better than I can. Trying to think what his name was. He was Sonny something. He was really popular around this area at one time. But he had a pretty good run at flathead. Most of them flathoods couldn't keep up with my overhead valve Oldsmobile. It had a lot of torque, especially on the way this track was built. It was kind of uphill, downhill, not severely, but it was. And coming up grade, the old Oldsmobile just kind of took their number. It was fun. I really enjoyed racing there. Of course, I guess you always enjoy racing where you do pretty good. First feature up there, I won it, and that's where I started I didn't really start the Mystery Man. That was work of the guy at the Hartfield Fire Department that put the news in the paper there. I just told him, I said, even before we started, I told him, I said, if I happen to win anything, I said, I don't know as I will, but I said, if I happen to win anything, don't put my name in the paper, whatever you do. So I had to go on a trip, and when I got back, I read the paper there, it said Mystery Man. I thought, that's pretty good. That's pretty cool.
Well, ever since then, that's what you got a moniker.
Yeah, that's the only thing I'm famous for is the Mystery Man.
Did Rindosh ever find out about it?
Not that I know of. And he was the kind of guy that would have said something if he did.
Yeah.
Because they called him the Mad Russian. The other day, I got some T-shirts for the Mystery Man on, and I was going into Tops Grocery there, and a veteran was out there collecting money for the VA or something, an older guy. Hey, he says, I remember Coon Rd Speedway. I said, oh yeah, how about that? I come back one day went to go out and heard a little sign on the side of my truck, the Mystery Man. I thought, who in the world put that on there, you know? I didn't know who it was. So they all knew who it was. They kind of kept it secret, you know. I kept trying to find out who put that sign on my truck, you know. The Mystery Man, little piece of metal on a sign. And anyway, they come to find out it was Bill Catania did it. And I didn't even know who he was. I heard of him. I knew of him, but I never met him. He said, yeah, he said, I used to go up there to the races all the time, he said. He said, I'd like to go up there and watch that old Oldsmobile run around there, you know, with his wife. Oh, wow. And she had a bathrobe on and stuff. And he said, this is Ken C. You remember? Oh, yeah, I remember him, you know. She was really, she'd been taking a lot of cancer treatments, and she wasn't feeling very good. But he said, you know, talked to him a little later when she went in the house. He said, you really made her day. He said, she hasn't, you know, felt good and going through this new type of treatment that she was only supposed to have a few sessions of it, and she'd gone about 3 times as many. So, you know, you think about things like that. You really can affect people's lives, you know, but in a very small way if you stop and think about it.